Yes. There's only one thing that music can mean. It's Thursday night, 8 p.m. You're on the Kid Buyers channel, and it is time for round 6. That's right, round 6 of this championship. It is SRL Project Cars 2 championship time, and this time here this week we are at the Monaco Grand Prix at the beautiful Circuit de Monaco. Corners like Sandivot, Beau Rivage, Casino Square, and the tunnel, the famous tunnel. And boy, what a race we have in store tonight. Super Sprint round, of course, for round 6. And back to talk with me about it for one more time. Anyway, this year is my co-commentator, Rob Pearson. Rob Dog, back again for another week. It's going to be a cracker.
Yeah, it's going to be a cracker, Trev. I'm just looking at the track map and I'm already seeing some interesting areas on the circuit like Massenet and Casino going into Lowe's Hairpin, which I'm predicting will be a pile-up in there, and also the Noville Chicane, really quick going into there. Big heavy braking section, and people can get caught out there pretty quick. And also you got Rascasse, which is one of the hardest corners to get your car into, so it's going to be a good qualifying. We've got 2 races, 2 quali sessions tonight, so let's get into it.
Let's get into it on the beautiful shores here in France. It's incredible, isn't it? 19 turns, 3.34 kilometres around this track. It seems to get narrower and narrower every single time we come back here. Overcast conditions, 2 races, like you mentioned, Rob, both 11 laps tonight. And before that, 2 qualifying sessions, both 10 minutes each. And the beautiful French Riviera and this beautiful sovereign city-state, micro-state if you want to call it here. And boy, you just talk about places you'd rather be. And these 2 boys wasting no time at all, coming out onto the track, running up the hill there up to Casino Square. So many famous corners, so much history dating back here, Rob, back to the first F1 race back in 1929, and for the most part the track looks fairly much pretty much the same.
I mean, there's not much you could do with a city like this. It's not really changed that much in almost 100 years. People have been racing here, which is unbelievable. We've only got 10 more years to go until that's true. But yeah, we've had some fantastic races here with Formula 1. I think one of the best drives, I might say, in '84 by Ayrton Senna and a lowly Tolman come through to almost take the win, and probably arguably should have taken the win, but that's how the FIA operated back in time, and the win was given to Alain Prost. But this is a fantastic circuit, and one of the circuits that's given a lot of good racing over the years. Not lately with the modern F1 regulations, but certainly I reckon tonight with the GTE cars around here, we're going to have some fireworks.
We sure are, and just so many classic races, isn't it, when you think about it, opening up for the last 90 or nearly 100 odd years of Grand Prix around this circuit. Panis in 96 coming from 14th on the grid in a race where I think there was only 3 finishes. Hopefully we see more than that tonight. But these cars though, GTE cars here tonight, so many talking points after we saw a familiar face back at the top in Donington. With F1 Rocks making amends of his disconnection the week before to make it 5 wins from 6 races, Rob. It's going to be hard to see who can stop this man. And he's also showing good pace around here, but the Corvettes are showing some pretty good pace as well.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm in a race around here tonight, I would be wanting to be in the Corvette. Ford seems to understeer. It's one of its attributes. It just likes to understeer when you haven't put much work into it. The Corvette is a very oversteery car, which means it just wants to get into the corner and kick its butt in there and give you a good time. But it's a shame that we don't have any Porsches tonight, Trev, because I do believe we've lost Mickey and Wob. They've gone into the Chevys tonight.
They have jumped out of the Porsche and they have, into the Chevy. So, well, not a bad track to go for the Chevys, given some times that we've seen earlier on this week. But like we mentioned, interesting track. I guess the getting around to start your hot lap here in these qualifying sessions won't be that much of an issue, I wouldn't have thought. One of the shorter circuits on the motor racing calendar. and some qualifying tips and fun facts, if you want to call them. Hashtag Wilco's Facts. First race, I guess the ambient temperature, first of all. The weather always plays a role, doesn't it, in these races? Ambient temperature 22 degrees, track temperature 31, overcast conditions like we said. And that's for race 1. Race 2, pretty much the same, a little bit cooler. Could make a little bit of a difference in terms of tyre temperature and grip around this circuit. But the expected pole time, Rob, we're looking at a 1:29, a low 1:29, possibly in the 1:28s if somebody can nail a hot lap around here.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's a very short qualifying session as well, so it's going to be a hard one to nail a really quick lap, and we've already got a 29.9, so that's a high 29, so that's a decent lap for short qualifying. But I haven't said this to you and Jason over the week, but I actually jumped in the Porsche and did a bit of practice around here, and I was on world record time with the Porsche, so pity I'm not out there tonight. Might be able to show these boys a thing or two, but I'd rather be in the commentary box because gee, I think it's going to be a hectic race, isn't it, Trev?
Yes, always is around here, and I know as much as you're just itching to get back out on the track around here and just show these boys a thing or two, we need you up here in the commentary box, Rob, and we'll have to start paying you more because you are not going anywhere, and the people love you. Everyone on the live stream loves you. And speaking of everyone watching the live stream, 14 viewers, Card Dude, hey boys, Rob, your good self, and well, Sprint Cars 6, we've got the qualifying results in. First is Deaf Dude, second is Ned, third is John Dog, fourth Tooley, and fifth Compact. And I believe you got an invite to that Tier 2 session there too, Rob. So thank you very much for those comments. Wilco's up and about on the comments. James Barton says, go Jason Wilkinson. And Jace has got a little bit of pressure on him tonight, Rob. He's got Shep, who's not around. He's, I think he's out on a yacht somewhere. He might be out in the harbour here on the French Riviera partying it up with a few friends here tonight. But he could have a front row seat. But a lot of pressure on Wilco. He needs a good result tonight.
I mean, I've been ribbing him ever since he jumped in the chat earlier before the stream there, Trev. I did tell him he needs to win tonight because he needs to give Alan Shep something to party about. I mean, he's probably got his nice women on his yacht tonight anyway, just watching from the riverside. But yeah, we're going to miss Shep from the stream. But Jace looks all right around here. He's in the Ford. It's not going to be the quickest thing around here, but we've already seen in the races the Ford is the quickest in a race pace situation. So if that's going to happen tonight with a super sprint round, because I think it's 11 laps, which I mean that equates to pretty much 11 qualifying laps in a super sprint round that we do. So will that play out? We don't know. That's something we're going to see tonight.
Just 4 minutes, under 4 minutes now in this qualifying session. And let me just draw your attention to the timing screens, the timing on the top left corner of your screen. Look at that, 1:29s. We did say that those were the times minimum that we were expecting, 1:29.4. I'd reckon that's, I've got a strong feeling that might go down later in this qualifying session. 4/10 ahead of Sub GT, so it's Formula One Rocks on pole position. As we take a look at V8 man 51 now, we'll follow him across the line, 1:31.217, and he improves to a 1:30.542, 1.1 seconds off Formula One Rocks. But those top three in the 29, Sub GT going quicker there with a 1:29.5, just 1/10. It's close each and every week, isn't it, Rob? There is nothing separating these drivers. And there's nothing separating Dean McKinnon from that Armco barrier there, as he's he's playing a little bit of pinball there, Rob.
Yeah, he's playing a bit of pinball. That was a bit of a commentator's curse, if I say so myself. But one thing I've noticed, Trev, is we're so used to the tunnel being a flat section. It's not really classified as a corner when you're watching Formula One, but with these cars, it is very much a corner, Trev.
It is. You've got to, I guess it used to be flat for many, many years through that tunnel from memory, but I guess in modern day Formula One cars you can sort of, with the more downforce and more grip, you can tend to take it flat, but not in these cars. You've got to be very careful, and that's one place you do not want to lose it in the tunnel, that's for sure. And we've seen some big accidents coming out of that tunnel into the chicane as Waffle, speaking of the tunnel, coming into the tunnel. Look at that beautiful sight, these GTE cars flashing through there. And we might just get an idea of what those speeds are too, Rob, if we can get that speedo up maybe, as Waffles just came in there a little bit too hot, outbraked himself. He'll get another go, though, currently in P10, so he's rounding out the top 10. And not that we... there we go, look at that. 4th gear, 5th gear, through the swimming pool section. It used to be a lot more difficult than that, Rob. It used to be sort of a closed corner, and it was almost like threading the eye of a needle at about 140 miles an hour through there back in the mid to late 90s. But they've opened that corner up as Waffles comes through the last corner, the Anthony Noakes corner from Rascass. Across the start-finish line. I feel like I've got to say those corner names like an F1 commentator, a British F1 commentator, as Waffles comes across the line. He couldn't quite improve. Now Fubbles, our man on the pad. Look at that, working the L2 and R2 like no other onto the start-finish straight, which is actually a continuous curb. And what can he do now coming across the line? Fubbles. No, he might just be starting his hot lap, Rob. And, well, let me tell you, just a minute to go in qualifying. The pressure's on these boys. If they haven't got a hot lap in yet, they've just got to try and get around and set one.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to set a lap around here. I mean, it's a short circuit, but it's only it's a minute and 30 laps. So actually, it's for these cars, it's a decent lap. It's probably comparable to somewhere like Sugo or Fuji, which is about a minute 30, minute 40 lap. You can't expect these cars to go too fast around here because they're only GTE cars. They don't have as much grip or downforce, and they don't have the luxuries of ERS and DRS around here, which sounds like a bloody tongue twister, Trev, but that's the way that modern Formula 1 is. But yeah, as you were saying, there are some really classic races around here. Remember, I think it was 91, Ayrton Senna came into for a pit stop. He did his last pit stop, and he was going around for about 30 laps, and Nigel Mansell came out on fresh rubber and just harassed him, and Senna ended up taking the win in the end. But just watching those cars dance around like these cars are dancing around here tonight, it's just absolutely spectacular, isn't it, Trev?
It certainly is. I'm not old enough. I guess I'm a little bit too young to remember that one, Rob, but I have seen highlights of it on YouTube. Fantastic stuff. Senna in the McLaren, Mansell in the Williams, and Murray Walker calling all the action. Geez, I tell you what, just a bit of the nostalgia. I'm getting all nostalgic now, but time is up in this qualifying session here tonight. Back to the present. And currently, can anyone knock Formula 1 Rocks off pole position with a 1:29.440? How fast is this action? That's what we love about these super sprint rounds. Short, sharp qualifying sessions. And I guess given the part of the world that we're in, I'm guessing we default to French jokes, Rob. I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to confirm between sessions. But why do French people eat snails? Because they don't like fast food.
What do one Frenchman say to the other Frenchman? Something in French.
Oh, yes, that's right. It's 14 minutes past 8 in this part of the world. Half an hour or so behind where you are, Rob, and that is what people can expect more of tonight. Here comes Formula 1 Rocks, though. He likes to go a little bit quicker, doesn't he, once the session's finished, just to sort of drive home the fact that I'm here and I am the number one, and I reckon that looked like a 29.082 to end the session. What a lap!
Unbelievable pace, and we know how quick he is. He's got it in people's heads at the moment that he's just so quick, and that's great for him as well mentally, because he's taken 5 wins so far out of 6 races, which is just unbelievable. I mean, the guy's got some incredible pace, and to be doing that in the Ford around here, which is a quite understeery car, that's a fantastic lap.
And he's got 2 Corvettes for company with Sub GT and Truss alongside him for company there. Car Dude in P4 ahead of V8, man. Good qualifying session for him in P5. And, well, indeed, Righty in P6, Jason in P7, not looking too bad for the race tonight. Mighty Murph in P8. Waffles, HSV running at the top 10 ahead of Fubbles, Andy, Mickey, Nemo and Womp in 15th. So 15 GTE cars ready to head down into turn 1 here at Monte Carlo, the Circuit de Monaco. And look at them, they're all staring down into Saint-Devot. Like we said at the start of the live stream tonight, this track doesn't get any wider. It seems to get narrower every single time we come here. As we get ready to go racing now, as we go through that grid. Truss, what is going through his mind? He's got a perfect view down into turn 1 there behind Formula 1 Rocks. Righty as well, P6 for him. on the, well, I'm not sure which is the clean and which is the dirty side of this track. Like we said, the straight being a continuous curve. Andy Holden, what can he do tonight? He'll be looking for a points finish starting from P12. They're all lined up, ready for action. The first of 2 races here tonight in the Super Sprint rounds. And different points system as well tonight, of course. So don't get confused with that. But we are just about ready to go racing, Rob. The tension is absolutely killing me.
Oh, the tension's always the worst part, just before a race start, and just going on board with those cameras there while the cars are lined up on the grid. You can just see how packed and close this circuit is. I mean, it's unbelievable that cars can actually race around here, and majority of the time get away with it. But you do see some spectacular crashes, and we're about to go racing, Trev.
Here we go. We are ready to go racing. Race 1 of 2 here at Monaco. It's going to be carnage, I'm sure, as they get away off the line. Formula One rocks. A beautiful start, maintains the lead. Sub GT into second. Side by side there, righty. And boy, no carnage as of yet, heading up the hill towards Casino Square. It's Formula One rocks, Sub GT Truss. A couple of guys there at the back. Womp there at the back along with Mickey. And as we come round now, so it's Formula One rocks, 4/10 ahead of Sub GT, and then Truss. So it's the Ford, then it's the 2 Corvettes for company, then 4th is Cart Dude, 5th is V8 Man.
Contact there.
Oh, was there some contact there, Rob?
Yeah, there was going in contact between Formula One rocks and Sub GT.
Oh, he's
Formula
around.
Rocks is around. This is absolute pandemonium. It's a parking lot. It's a parking lot. Everybody's involved in the accident.
Oh, no.
Oh, wow. I think Cart Dude got scot-free. Cart Dude's in the lead.
Cart Dude has, I tell you what, we said that there could be carnage. And Stephen Bradbury, aka Cart Dude, has got through all of that. Absolute disaster for Formula One rocks. And it set off a chain reaction, and I reckon about 12 of them were involved. And it's going from bad to worse at the moment. Oh my goodness, what is happening out there, Rob?
Pandemonium. I can't explain it. It's just it's Monaco. Somebody gets a little bit too greedy, like Formula One rocks did with his right foot there, and he spun it around, and it just causes absolute chaos, and especially at that part of the circuit as well. I mean, it just. Portier is one of those corners where you can just get it wrong really, really quick and really instantaneously, but Cart Dude is in the lead and he's not going to stop.
He's pulled about 3 seconds out on V8 Man, who is now up to P2. He'll be pretty happy with that. And Sub GT in 3rd, so he must have got through the carnage, picked his way through. HSV up to 4th, get this, Nemo in 5th, Womp up to 6th, which is absolutely incredible. Womp, I think, was down in 15th at the end of the opening lap, or the early stages of this race. So lap 2 out of 11, and absolutely unbelievable. And we've got 5 guys into the pits. Mickey, Righty, Waffles, Formula One rocks now down to 14th, and not an easy track to pass on and make a comeback drive.
Yeah, definitely not. And if I was probably Cart Dude at this point, I might be thinking about the early pit stop here. Just keep that clear air between him and the back markers, because it's easy to run into some slower traffic on lap around here, so that can really impede your performance. And you don't want to be risking an overtake around here when the walls are so close. So, I mean, Cart Dude knows what he's doing. He's always pretty in control. I mean, he controlled the race to a certain point last week at Donington. He just had a bad pit stop and got involved in an incident at the end of the race last week, but he's in first, but I don't think he's going to give that up. And props to V8 Man and Sub GT. Sub GT does look like he's ended up a little bit of damage there, but I think he's won out. He's back down into 3rd. He was up as high as 2nd on the first lap, but I mean, he's still chasing V8 Man, so he's still got some pace with a damaged front end, Trev.
Well, we were expecting the carnage to be at turn 1 at Saint-Devot, and ended up being at Portier heading into the tunnel. But interesting point you make there, Rob. So with a pit stop, mandatory pit stop, of course, could be the chance to use a bit of strategy, maybe pass the guy in front, or indeed keep ahead. Fresh, clean air is the key around here. And the soft tyres might be the tyre to use, Rob, but they drop off fairly quickly, so it could be an option to maybe run some hard tyres, albeit about a second or half a second a lap slower. As we take a look at this battle now, lap 3 out of 11, and it is Truss hot on the heels of Nemo. And, well, I guess it's given us a bit of variety. Roberts mixed up the order that instant on the opening lap. And, well, Truss is going to have a mighty job trying to pass Nemo. And around here, once you get into the clear air and the track position, you can become a very difficult man to pass.
Yeah, very difficult. And, he's just hit the barrier there. So that's going to give Truss a bit of a run on Nemo. But... yeah, the biggest winners and losers are Formula One Rocks and Andy, not Andy Holden, sorry, Truss as well. So they'll be trying to rip through the pack as quick as they can. But the topic of tyres is interesting around here because you've got somebody like Kart Dude, and I mean, he's out front at the moment. He's still lapping quicker than the guys behind him. This is probably a good chance for him to just save some tyres and not even worry about just changing tyres. Just save them, look after them till the end of the race and just try and limp home to a victory. I mean, I don't think he'll be limping home because look how quick he's going around here. He's not leaving anything on the table. He wants the win bad.
1:31.5 last time around for Kart Dude, so... might be a good option, you never know. He can dictate terms out front. He can control the pace of this race. Although V8 man, 32.2, 4.5 seconds behind Kart Dude, so keeping Kart Dude honest. But it really is about Kart Dude now. He's sitting pretty out the front. And we've got the Tier 2 results from Race 1 on that subject, Rob, coming through. And it is Ned taking the victory ahead of Deaf Dude. John Dog in third, Compact in fourth, and Thule in fifth. Big thank you again for the Tier 2 race results. Don't forget to get your comments in, like we say each and every week on the live stream tonight. And not that we count our views each and every week for everyone watching out there at home, but we did tick over to the 1,000 view mark. Not that we're counting, Rob, like I said, but 1,009 to be exact. So the big 1K we crossed during the week. All Fubbles. Kid Buyers just blabbering on there. And meanwhile, Fubbles having a little look at Mighty Murphy.
Fubbles has actually let Formula Rocks through. So yeah, Fubbles was actually defending with all his might there, but at the end it was just going to impede his race, not letting him through, which is, I think, the right decision, but it was interesting to watch. But we got Waffles here. He's actually closing in on Bubbles. He's just cut the chicane there, so he's probably going to get a little bit of a time penalty. So Righty's looking to get past, but Waffles saying, no, I'm not having any of that. You can stay behind me while I hunt down Bubbles. And we got Andy Holden here actually having a back of the pack race with Wob. So this might be interesting to see how this turns out. I know that Andy's actually done a lot of laps around here because he's an aficionado at the Formula 1 game, so he knows where the circuit goes. It's just he's had run into a bit of bad luck with that pile up on lap 1. So it'll be interesting to see how this little battle sorts out. But also we got our mate Jason, and I don't know what happened there. His car looked a bit stationary for a second there, Trev.
Well, I did see on the screen that he had come into the pits, so it's interesting. I'm not sure what happened to him. He's currently up in, where is he, P4. Look at that gap between third and fourth. It's massive, isn't it? But it's that kind of race. It's a crazy, crazy race. And it's good to see battles right through the order. 15 runners in this race, and Sub GT.
Sub GT has had a crash at, I think that looks like...
Rascass, is it?
Yeah, I think that might be Rascass. Yeah, it is Rascass. So, again, as I said, just before the race started, Rascass is one of those corners, probably the trickiest corner to get into because it's a left-hander and then it goes right. And when you're trying to turn right, you're also on the anchors trying to get the car stopped, so it's easy to lock up and go ahead there. I mean, let's not use Michael Schumacher as an example because he did that deliberately at Rascass to save his qualifying time. But yeah, Sub GT's car is looking a little bit second-hand at the moment.
It certainly is, and that gap was so big back to Jason in P4 that you almost could just sort of plonk there like Michael Schumacher back in 2006, that infamous qualifying session, and gather it all up and keep going again. But his car does indeed look worse for wear. As we take a look at Righty now, have a look at this. Like we said, battles all through the order. P10 and P11 going at it, Waffles, and just looking to take the inside line there. Righty not too adventurous there. And you can see further up the hill is Fubbles in P9. Formula One Rocks continuing the comeback drive up to P8 as well. As we head up through Casino Square, look at this beautiful onboard shot. Look at that in the background there, that beautiful mountains in the background. The playground of the rich and famous. And I don't think they're going to get us out of the airport here, Rob, or wherever the airport actually is. I'm not sure you can land planes here, but maybe choppers, but not planes. But we do love this part of the world. Just one of the beautiful places we go to. As we ride on board now with Waffles coming through Portier into the tunnel. That's where Ayrton Senna went off back in 1988 when he was about a minute or so or a lap in the lead. And Prost came through and took the victory on that occasion. Lap 6 out of 11, Rob. 5 laps to go in this crazy, crazy race.
Yeah, it's shaped up to be just the Monaco, isn't it, so far? And we've got one more to go. So those guys who had the early on crash, Formula Rocks, spinning at Portier, he'll be looking to get trying to get back on the high horse. I mean, this is Waffles has lost his front end there. I don't know how that happened, but oh wow! And he's parked it.
He may suffer permanent neck damage, judging on the look of that one. Hopefully he's got the Hans device hooked up in the cockpit there. Boy, he just stopped, didn't he?
Yeah.
He just went off and, we say this time and time again, but imagine the repair bill after this race. But it has lived up to crazy Monaco. And here's Mighty Murph around the streets of Monaco, the first New Zealand driver since Brendan Hartley to drive around these famous streets. He's in P7, and here comes Kart Dude. The leader is in, Rob.
Yeah, the leader's in. That's a good choice. I think V8 Man will be taking the lead off of him, but V8 still has to do a pit stop himself, and I don't think Sub GT, I don't think he's come into the pit lane yet. I think he's just cruising around with his car all battered and bruised. I mean, if he's still trying to get some pace out of it, if it's still drivable, just keep going. But yeah, this is always an interesting battle, because it seems like Mighty Murph and HSV are always stuck together, Trev. They're like conjoined twins. We're just going to have to get a paid surgeon out here to separate them, I think. But they always provide some good on-track action, and it's always good to watch them race together.
Oh, it is the side of Alan and Dean conjoined. I hope you realise that image will stick with me for the rest of my life. As we take a look at these live stream comments. That's right, Grace Vinson saying Monaco looks even better in real life, Rob. How jealous am I? OMG.
Wow, I mean, if you want to buy Trevor and I some plane tickets to Monaco so we can pretend to be rich and famous, we'll take it.
And have a look at this. Hold everything, as there's a bit of a logjam there behind Dean McKinnon, who's carrying, well, he looks pretty messed up, I've got to say. Looks a little bit like Kimmy after that award ceremony a couple of weeks ago, but, well, they're not going to get through easily. Formula One Rocks, he knows he's got the pace, but have a look. Oh, no! And
yeah, that was certainly contact there. I think Formula One Rocks just stuck it down the inside and gave him a bit of a spin around. I don't know if that was malicious or not, but it certainly, on the camera, it looked like it was a bit how you going, that move. But Formula Rocks is up in the 7th now, and I don't think he really cares that much. He's be a bit flustered behind that TV screen there, Trev.
As you would be. He is a man on a mission, currently only a second or so behind HSV, who is carrying some damage, but lap 8 for Formula One Rocks, lap 9 for Kart Dude. And V8 Man now, he was in the lead, now he's down to P3. So let's just recap here. It's Kart Dude leading this one here. Then it's Jason in P2. What was Wilco talking about? Our man Shep not watching tonight, but he's got many, many fans out there. James Barton, we've already mentioned, that want him to do well here at Monaco. And I'm not sure, a bit of trivia for you too, Rob. I think if you finish in the top 3 here in the F1 race, you get invited back to Prince Albert's place for dinner. So I guess these boys, I can just imagine Jason sitting at the table there at Prince Albert's palace. But anyway, enough said about that. We're going off track here. 2 laps to go to the end of this one. It's going to be hard to see anybody beating Kart Dude here tonight in race 1.
Yeah, Kart Dude's just stayed out of trouble. His car looks so straight. It's unbelievable. He's just driven a good race, and somebody behind Cardu just had another incident. But yeah, just going through the field, and I mean, it's spread out, but there's battles everywhere. It's just an unbelievable place to control cameras at the moment. There's a missing wing on the back of a subs car there, so he's not going to have much downforce coming into the corners, and Righty's coming up behind him. Just going to be saying, let me past. I don't think he can drive legally with that. Maybe a black and white meatball flag coming for Sub GT, but yeah, Car Dude has just kept it straight, and I mean, Jason is actually lapping quicker than Car Dude at the moment, but it's not going to matter at the end of this race there, Trev.
It will not. There's no doubt about that. Super sprint points, so reduced points tonight. 2 points awarded also to the driver who completes the fastest lap. That is for super sprint rounds only, folks. They used to do that in Formula 1 a few years ago, I think. Many years ago, I should say. There was a point for the fastest lap. But anyway, lap 10, penultimate lap of this race. Now, Cart Dude, Jace, V8 Man, your top three. And then we're on screen. We've got Sub GT in P8. And then Righty hot on his heels. As here he comes now, the Tasmanian, who will be looking, he's be pretty happy with this result tonight. He managed to avoid that carnage, and you've just got to keep your nose clean. All four wheels and tyres pointing in the right direction, Crofty. I've done it again, Rob. Sorry about that. But Cart Dude 10.2 seconds ahead of Jason in P2. Then it's V8 Man 3 seconds further behind. And Truss, here he comes. He's coming up to start the final lap of this race. But it's not over yet, because look at that. Righty there, currently in P9. And boy, Fubbles, Fubbles hanging on also to a points finish in P10. But like we said, reduced points, different point system, not the traditional F1 style point system here tonight. But there's been battles all through the field tonight, and it's been interesting for the entirety of this race, Rob.
Yeah, I mean, there's been so much action. Righty's just looking, trying to get past the back marker and Sub GT there. He's flashing his lights. He's getting really frustrated, and rightfully so. He's being blocked. I think that's actually Andy Holden's yellow Ford. Sorry, my colour blindness is getting to me a little bit. But yeah, he's lost his somebody's front's come off there. I do think that was probably Righty's, but yeah, it's just action-packed. We're going to have to talk about this one for a little bit after this race stops, I think, because there's so much to unpack from this one.
And look at that, Righty, he's through. He's got ahead of Fubbles there, a little bit of a nudge into Sandevot. Looked a little bit dodgy, if you ask me, but he gets the job done. And boy, if I were you at home, if you're a member of the group chat, I'd be turning off your notifications for SRL, because there will be more keyboard warriors than you can throw a stick at. But it's all about this man at the moment. Lap 11, the final lap of this race. Cart Dude coming around Rascass through Anthony Nogue's corner for his first win. He's had 3 second places this year, but he is yet to take the top step of the podium until now. Here he comes across the line. He saved it for the most prestigious race on the calendar at Monaco. And spare a thought for this man, Jason Wilkinson. He was talking himself down through the course of the week, but he comes across the line. And here he comes, V8 Man as well, for his first podium of this season. Fantastic stuff. Truss, minus a bit of bodywork at the front there, across the line into P4. And Formula One rocks.
I was going to say, that's a good recovery drive from Truss there to get from dead last to back to fourth, and same with Formula One rocks. So that's a great recovery drive from both of them.
And Formula One rocks as well as Mighty Murph. Currently, it comes across the line for P6 HSV. And he suffered a bit of damage, as most people have. He finishes ahead of Sub GT. Righty now Fubbles, looking to score the final point in this race here tonight. I hope I'm saying that right. Oh my goodness me, look at that. Hopefully they can get those repairs done, Rob, before race 2, as Andy decides he wants to fly off into the harbour and leave early tonight. But there we go, Cart Dude taking his first win, like I mentioned, of this season. 11 seconds ahead of Jason Wilkinson in P2. V8 Man in P3. Ahead of Truss, Formula One Rocks, good recovery drive from those two, 4th and 5th. Mighty Murph in 6th. HSV up into 7th. He did run 4th for a short period there in that race, but 7th in the end for HSV. Then it's Sub GT in P8, Righty in P9, Fubbles in P10, Waffles in P11. He'll be disappointed to finish outside of the points. Andy in 12th, Womp in 13th, Mickey in 14th, Nemo retiring rounds out your results here in race 1. And if that's anything to go by, God knows what we're going to see in race 2, Rob.
I can't believe I saw that. We've already got the group chat actually going off. Somebody just said, who calls all that spiel on lap 1? Well, I think maybe Formula One Rocks might be having some people coming after him tonight, but I mean, that's just the first race, isn't it? So we've got race 2 coming up, qualifying 2 as well coming up, so that's going to be great to watch.
We cannot wait, and boy, here I am talking about the points. Like we said, it's different for the Super Sprint rounds, Rob. 8th, of course, 15th for the win, 15 points, I should say, for first and the win, and 8th gets you the final points. So similar to the point system we saw in F1 sort of in the early 2000s with the 1 point. So points just down to 8th position tonight. Because I think I was waffling on about the points being down to P10. But just do what everyone else does and do not listen to me at all. But Cart Dude, like we said, his first win of the year. And Jason Wilkinson, have a look at these comments on the live stream here tonight. Hashtag Cart Dude Nation, get it trending. That's right. Jace is on there, yes. And Jace Nemo saying, good on you, Jace, good on you, Cart. Some idiots got on there and put hashtag blessed. And also, too, just quick mention, Rob, to the qualifying results from Tier 2. And Deaf Dude in first, he's showing some good form. Ned Flanders in 3rd. John Dog in 3rd. 4th for Compact and 5th for Thule. We'll have to take a breath here. We've got to do it all over again for race 2.
Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, I can't believe that. Again, I can't believe we just saw that sort of accident just within the first lap of Monaco. I don't even think we've seen a crash like that in Monaco for the last, 10 years, I think. So that's just unbelievable. But great win from a Cart Dude there, keeping his car nice and clean. And Jason talking himself down a little bit, but he came into the chat a little bit earlier today and he was all pumped up. It was like he visited Colombia and had some white stuff on his nose. But yeah, I think Jason's going to be wrapped up with that. And Alan Shep wasn't here to watch it.
Well, Big Shep, I reckon he's currently sitting on that yacht in the harbour there. I reckon Jace is just Kimi Räikkönen style from a few years ago. He's making his way to the yacht as we speak. In fact, don't get there. I wouldn't get there just yet, Jace. You might be in for a win. Who knows? In race 2. And Nemo says, I hate parking lots. Yes, Nemo. He's been in a spot of bother in his SRL racing career, you might say. But big thanks. No, we love the comments. Each and every one of them on the live stream. Get them in. But we've got another 11 laps around here. But before we do that, we have another 10-minute qualifying session around this beautiful circuit, which is living up to its name tonight. Formula One Rocks, that is his... he's had a... something's wrong. He's used to that P1, isn't he? He did disconnect a couple of races ago, but P5 for him. So we'll see how it all ends up, but he still has a pretty healthy championship lead, Rob, especially with Waffles, his main competitor, not even finishing in the points in race 1.
Yeah, Waffles dealt a bit of a raw hand there. It happens as well. I mean, sometimes when an incident like that happens, 1 or 2 cars will get past and everybody else gets involved with it. I mean, there was so much bodywork down at that corner. It was just unbelievable. But we've got a Nemo just commentating on the live stream saying, how are we commentators? That's because we have smooth, monotone voices that relaxes everybody at home watching this live stream.
Ah, yes, Nemo. Just grab a headset and join in. It is brilliant stuff. But speaking of joining in, Cart Dude, what's your language there? Please put your manners back in. www.supremeracingleague.com.au. In fact, drop the au.com. Get involved with it. We are full in Tier 1. We've got Tier 2, though, or you can just listen to us commentate. And Nemo, is there a little bit of is that criticism, feedback? I'm not too sure. And race 2, stick around everybody, make a cup of tea, come back as soon as possible because we are ready to go racing in race 2 in 30 seconds time here tonight. 16 drivers. And this is incredible. I cannot wait for this, for race 2. What is going to happen here? The temperature is going to be a little bit cooler. Overcast once again. And 3, 2, 1, the countdown is on. And everybody getting ready to go racing for the second time here tonight. Like we mentioned, Super Sprint round, last round before Christmas as well. We're having a couple of weeks off, I think, after this week. And coming back on the 10th of the 1st. And the classic tracks do not stop there. Le Mans, the Enduro round. And boy, we'd have to get a couple of extra bottles of water for that one, Rob, considering how drained we were after Spa. So 12 laps around there. That will be in the new year as we get ready for the second qualifying session. It's going to be a beauty yet again.
Yeah, it's going to be a good session, but I think for Le Mans, I might just put myself on a drip. I'll get a nurse here, and she can shove the drip straight into my vein. I'll be hydrated for the whole race at Le Mans, but that's going to be a cracking race. That's always been a favourite track of mine, Le Mans. You're going down the Mulsanne straight into the chicanes, and they look like it's not an easy thing to get into, but just breaking into there is such a hard thing. And then you're dealing with cars who are drafting behind you. It's just a pleasurable experience as somebody who likes to race cars online. And I'm sure for people who do race Le Mans in real life, I think it's a really pleasurable experience. But Sub GT and Righty are the first ones on the circuit, which means they're going to be the ones looking for the clear air the quickest. I don't know what's going to happen here. They're probably going to tuck up behind each other, maybe get a little bit of a tow going on. Don't think it's going to make a big difference. There we go. Got Righty just moving across, letting Sub GT go past. That's nice of him. And I think that's Formula Rocks or V8 Man behind that lot. It was Formula Rocks. So Formula Rocks is actually going to get a lap in quite early in the fresh air there, Trev.
Yes, and that is what you need to do. We cannot stress the importance of that. Traffic is always a factor. It doesn't matter what car you're in. Formula 1, GT cars, GTE, GT3, whatever it is, you always need to get out and get amongst it early. As Nemo decides, well, for a man who hates parking lots, he's decided to park heading down to Lowe's hairpin there. But anyway, never mind about that. Andy coming down the hill. I reckon Nemo might have got going again. I think he might have just been getting out of people's way there to just give people some room. Like we said, the real estate is at a premium here, on and off the track here in Monte Carlo, as Righty comes through the swimming pool section of this circuit. And heading towards Rascasse now, looking to start his hot lap. We've already lost a couple of minutes in this session, so that's before anybody set a fast lap time. Through the final corner then, onto the main straight. Righty is going to have a crack first time around here. And speaking of Righty, he's had an interesting season. He had a couple of P4s back in round 1 and round 4. Currently sitting 9th in the Drivers' Championship. And we haven't mentioned too much about the Constructors' Championship either. As we take a look at Righty coming up the hill, it's Shake and Bake on 137 ahead of Sodi. And then Casting Couch Racing in P3. We'll keep getting through those results a little bit later. But look at that, Righty on the ragged edge on this hot lap, Rob.
Yeah, I mean, he did miss the apex there, so he had to use a little bit of extra throttle to slide that rear end around to get the car pointed for the next corner. But yeah, I mean, the earlier you get the lap in, I guess the better in a lot of ways around here. Just in traffic sense, because it's so easy to get caught behind somebody when you're on a hot lap and just ruin it completely. But yeah, Righty's going to go for the early banker lap and just keep it there and just see what he can do after that. Just make sure the track is as clear as he can make it. But yeah, Righty's in a clear area at the moment, in prime real estate at the moment there, Trev.
Yes, he is. Prince Albert will be watching as Righty coming through that swimming pool section, looking pretty good on this lap, looking very handy indeed, is our man Righty as he comes through the final couple of corners here tonight onto the main straight. What can he do? Just 6.5 minutes remaining in this qualifying session, the second qualifying session here tonight. And coming across the line, and it's a 1:30.775. So not too bad, a banker lap, but this man's going to be quick. Here comes Formula One Rocks. What can he do? Can he go better than a 130.7? He does indeed, a 130.4. And terrific stuff, but you've got a feeling. And Truss goes quicker yet again. You can see him in the background there, getting into the 129.7s. And do we need to get that speedo up there? I'm just wondering, that old pesky speedo. There we go. You can see there, first gear up into second through the tunnel. Look at this, third gear up to 200 kilometres an hour. And they've just got to ease off through that tunnel like we mentioned earlier this evening, Rob. Not flat like in an F1 car. But Truss with a 129.735. Cart Dude, a 129.754. Just 0.019 between first and second. And don't count Formula One Rocks out. I reckon he's going to go a lot quicker than that as well, Rob, as here comes Sub GT. Currently set, he's opening lap of 140, but that's not what he's interested in. He's interested in this lap, and so are we, and everybody else watching at home. Through the last couple of corners, down to first gear, up through the gears, across the line. Where will this lap put him in this qualifying session? He comes across the start-finish line, and he's up to... Ooh, it's only P11. Not good, Rob.
Yeah, not good. You can actually see Sub GT's fighting the car there. It's sliding around quite a lot. Of course, the second qualifying session is actually a little bit colder than the first one, so temperatures are a bit lower, a little bit less grip. So people who are really... Formula One Rocks has actually gone to the top of the timesheets there, Trev.
A 129.480. Just when you think this man, and oh my goodness me, a 129.2. That's been superseded because Cart Dude has just set a blistering lap. We're almost heading to 128s here tonight, but he comes back out to have another go at it on track. But the times are tumbling. Look at that, 129.2 for Cart Dude in P1. Formula One Rocks, 2/10 behind him. And then Truss Righty Jace, the man who finished in P2. He'll be happy with that. And V8 Man currently there in 6th. Mighty Mervin HSV, the usual suspects in 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. Nemo there rounding out the top 10. My Kiwi bro. And Sub GT there in P11. We saw his attempt at a hot lap. Fubbles in 12th. And Womp and Mickey currently in the pits. Yet to set a time. And don't forget, keep getting those comments in on the live stream tonight, folks. We would love to hear from you. We just get a casual 1,000 views a week now, Rob. And those watch hours and subscribers are climbing all the time. Hoping to be making a bit of moolah out of this by season 4. Wouldn't that be nice? But we don't do it for the money, do we, Rob? We do it for the love of this sport.
Yeah, we do it for the love of the sport. And also, I mean... whatever money we're going to be making from this, if it ever happens, will be going towards probably prizes for championship winners. So something nice, maybe a little trophy, maybe a beer or two, I don't know. But yeah, we do it for the love of the sport, really. I mean, I came on as a commentator just for this season, just to see what it was like, and I'm just having so much fun being here, Trev. It's just unbelievable. And you got so much good on-track action. I mean, it's just hard to look away from it sometimes.
It is indeed. Like we said, we do not do this for money, but that electricity bill will not pay itself, that's for sure, sitting on my dining table. But we will get some, hopefully we can get some donations going. Who knows? In all seriousness, though, we might get some prizes or even just a beer, like you said, Rob, at the end of the season. But 2.5 minutes to go in this second qualifying session. And can anybody beat that man on your screen? In the Corvette Cart Dude 45, the man known as Brodie Sward from the great state of Tasmania. I don't care what anybody says, it's part of Australia, despite what everyone may say. But he's a go-kart driver, he's a real-life driver, that's right, not just on the PlayStation. He's fairly handy in the karts too. And as soon as I say that, he just nudges that wall coming into the tunnel through Portier there. But look at that, beautiful, up into 4th gear, 5th gear, just lifting slightly, heading into the harbourfront chicane. And he's just taken that beautifully, hasn't he, Rob? He just nailed that superbly.
Yeah, no, that was a lot of speed going into there. I've never seen that done before. That was impressive steering from old mate Taswegian there. I mean, it must be a little bit easier to drive a car with two heads. You know, you got one brain doing the braking and the other one's doing the steering. But yeah, I mean, he's a fantastic driver. I mean, I think he was one of the top state carters in Tasmania, I think, last year. So he knows what he's doing. But I mean, it's so hard to beat this man, Formula One Rocks. I mean, he's just on the roll at the moment, Trev.
He certainly is, and oh boy, 128. Let's have a look at this. Cast your eyes into the top left-hand corner of your screen. Drop whatever you're doing, because Kart Dude has gone around this circuit in a 120. He's done a 128.820, and the commentator's curse not working there. We built him up, we gave him a wrap, and he's gone even quicker. And he's saying to Formula One Rocks now, well, there you go, son, have a crack at that, or Truss as well. 0.6 of a second quicker than Formula One Rocks in P2. 20 seconds remaining in this qualifying session. Is he going to get around Formula One Rocks to have another go at this? It's going to be interesting. Comes out of the chicane. I don't reckon he's going to get around in time here, Rob. But anyway, we'll see what this lap can hold for him. He brushes the barriers ever so slightly through the swimming pool section as Truss goes up into P2. But what can Formula One Rocks do here? He needs to find time. He's currently 0.6 of a second down as the checkered flag has been waved here in qualifying. Through the last corner, he runs a little bit wide. Looks a little bit scruffy, you've got to say. He comes across the line. Can he improve on a 129.4 across the start-finish line? Yes, he can. Up into P2. Still 0.4 off of Kart Dude in P1, but not a bad lap at all, Rob.
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic lap. I mean, I think Carty's might have gotten a little bit of confidence from that race win there, actually. So that's going to be great for him. Formula One Rocks, I mean, that's still a good time. I mean, he's still going to be side by side with Kart Dude on the line there. And Truss, I mean, he just got put down in into P3 there. But I mean, if he can keep his nose clean, we know how handy he is around with these cars, and I know how handy he is around Monaco. I mean, he's on pace with a world record time during the practice sessions, but this is just qualifying, and it's almost over and done with.
And one of the classic sayings that I can remember Murray Walker saying many years ago in the original F1 game was, let's take a look at the drivers lower down the order. Anyway, we'll get to that, but Kart Dude finishing in pole position. That's right, pole position, a 128.820 ahead of Formula One Rocks in P2. The usual suspects up here, Truss in P3, ahead of Ridey and Jason Wilkinson there. 4th and 5th respectively in Team Victoria Better Racing. And it is Sub GT in P6, V8 Man in P7, and then Mighty Murph. We can't separate these two, can we? Mighty Murph and in P8 ahead of HSV in P9, Andy in P10, Nemo in P11 ahead of Fubbles in P12, Womp in P13th, and Mickey, you're so fine in P14. Well, we saw what happened in race 1, Rob, and we are about to do it all over again in race 2.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kart Dude might be thinking about that first lap incident that Formula One Rocks had, so he's just going to try and keep his nose clean. But actually, Formula One Rocks, from the first race, he got a fantastic start off the line. And he actually had no trouble coming up into Portier, but we all know how that happened. But it's a different race, and we're going to see what's going to happen very shortly, Trev.
Okay, let me just break it down for you all watching at home there, all of our beautiful streamers who we love. Kart Dude in P1, Formula One Rocks in P2, then it's Truss in P3 at Monaco in SRL. Does it get much better than that? Where would you rather be? I know, I do not want to be anywhere else apart from here. And maybe Monaco in real life would be nice. But anyway, we can't have it all. But Kart Dude in P1 ahead of Formula One Rocks. So it's Kart Dude, our race winner in the opening race of tonight. We are ready to go. It's first and second. Look at that. They'll be staring down into turn 1 again. Who is going to get the better start here in race 2? They are away. Lights out. Away we go. Kart Dude blasts away. Formula One Rocks having a look into turn one, tries to take the outside for size. He doesn't get through there. Up the hill now, looks like everyone has got away cleanly. The two guys at the back there as well, coming up through the hill. And Formula One Rocks maintaining second position ahead of Truss, and there's a spinner.
That was V8 Man having a half spin there, so he's dropped back through the field. I think he started around about 5th, so that's a bad result for him so far, but I know he can climb up through the field. We know how good he is. He's not a team owner of Formula One Rocks for nothing.
Well, like they say, oh, look at that contact. Formula One Rocks there and Truss through Lowe's hairpin. Everyone else gets around there cleanly. The two green cars at the back. That's right, we haven't forgotten about you two. So far, so good. But this is where the carnage happened last race. But it looks like they've got through cleanly this time around, Rob.
Yeah, I mean, Formula One Rocks is actually all over the back of Kart Dude there, but Kart Dude's not going to let him past. I mean, they were rivals from the last season in the V8 series, with Kart Dude taking that series by just a handful of points from Formula One Rocks. So these are two drivers that know each other very intimately, not in that way, but they know what they're like and what their strengths and weaknesses are. And I think Formula One Rocks is using the weakness of Kart Dude at the moment, just getting up on the rear bumper, just making himself look really, really big. And trust me, around here, any car looks massive with how small this circuit is.
And Kart Dude, he'll be just keeping that car very, very wide indeed. And that's going to keep Truss interested in the Corvette. So first, second, third, separated by less than a second at the moment. And then it's everybody's favourite man, Jason Wilkinson in P4, 1.5 seconds further back there in P4 off the lead. Sub GT is P5. HSV's got a penalty, it seems. We've got strict corner cutting rules here, like we do at most circuits. V8 Man, we saw that half spin on lap 1, now down to 7th. Then it's Andy in P8. Look how close they are going through Lowe's hairpin. And they'll be looking the doorman at the casino square at the hotel, I should say, right in the eyes. And as they go through there, one of the slowest corners on the motor racing calendar. And here is Ridey in P12. Womp ahead of him in P11. Made a good start in race 1, did Womp. He managed to avoid that carnage, but he's currently in P11. Ridey there on your screen, like we mentioned, in P12. But it looks to me, Rob, as if there's a little bit of a traffic jam behind Kart Dude now.
Yeah, Kart Dude's doing the old trolley train. He's actually backing Formula One Rocks into Truss, which is great for Truss. I mean, Truss wants to get those results. He's had a bit of bad luck in Tier 1, actually. He came from Tier 2 really early on in this season because it was just too good to be in Tier 2, so we had to bring him to Tier 1, and he's just absolutely harassing the back of Formula One Rocks. So that's going to be an interesting little battle early on. Formula One Rocks actually had him. Oh wow, he's lost his grip there. That's all I can say about that. He just on the absolute edge, and be interesting if he's picked up any damage there. But that's actually giving Cardi some breathing room, so that's good for him. Just looking through the order at the moment, we've got Mighty Merv actually having a little bit of a battle with Andy here, so that's going to be fun to watch and see how that one shapes out. Actually, as we jumped on with Mighty Merv, saw Andy on just the wrong side of the circuit there, really wide, so he might be struggling with temperature already. And just having a look through here, we've also got V8 Man. He's only about a second off our Ridey, so that'll be interesting to see if that gap closes up as well.
I think he might have made a pit stop there, V8 Man, electing to go for the pit stop earlier after that incident he was involved with, with himself, where he half spun. But we've just got the Tier 2 Race 2 results, and just coming through on the live stream for us. Big thank you to everybody for providing these results and comments. We love you so, so much. But in first it was Ned Flanders, Oakley Dokley, and then John Dog in second. Third was Compact. Fourth was Tooley, and Deaf Dude, never heard of him, not finishing. I may have gone with that joke last week, but anyway, Mighty Murph, he's into the pits now. Everybody's favourite Kiwi. Nemo won't like me saying that, as he comes down the pit lane, mandatory pit stop like we mentioned, into the pits. What's going on up the front there? Talking of the trolley train, who could forget Enrique Benoldi back in 2001? I think he held up David Coulthard for about 72 laps. and he wasn't getting through there. Big hello to Rick Elliott. I'm late, but I'm here. What did I miss? Sounds like me at work on a Friday morning, but lap 4 out of 11. It is all happening wherever you look, Rob.
Yeah, it's all happening, and actually Fallen Rocks is actually closing in on Cart Dude again. So obviously didn't got away with no damage there, but this is again reshaping to be a very, very good battle. I mean, Truss is slowing a little bit there. What's happened to Truss?
Well, he's not looking good at all, as the Elliott boys, Connor and Rick, have just joined the party, but Truss, he's just something not quite right. Sub GT just pretty much let him through there, didn't he? It wasn't a pass, he just let him through, so he's got some kind of problem. Looking very ginger going through the swimming pool.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened there. Maybe his controller's disconnected or something, but yeah, that's really, really disappointing, because that was looking like a really good three-way battle at the top there. And Fallen Rocks is actually pitted, so Fallen Rocks is actually looking for the undercut at the moment, so that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But that's given Cart Dude some breathing room, but that's going to put Fallen Rocks into a lot of traffic, I would assume, Trev.
Yes, track position is oh so important. I don't think there's a track where it is more important as someone's facing the other way there. Just deciding to create another racetrack off to the right-hand corner of your screen, and it's HSV, and he won't be too happy as well.
Oh, no.
Who could forget that scene from Austin Powers?
Oh.
Where he's just give it the old three-point turn, Dino. Oh boy, how embarrassing for all 18 people too. We've maxed out, Rob, on the live stream. 18 people so far, and right just when Dean was trying to do a three-point turn at Sandevot. We saw Michael Schumacher go off there, I think back in 97 in the wet conditions, but he went off. He was a little bit calmer about it though. He just sort of spun it around and got back going again, but I guess Dean couldn't do it on that occasion.
I mean, you could see he tried to do it, but then when he was coming back onto the circuit, he just lit up the tyres again and put it into the wall, and that made V8 Man a little bit of a target. I think V8 Man's got a bit of Ford paint work on his Chevy now, so that's made his Chevy just a little bit more reliable. But we won't get into the Ford versus Holden or Chevy jokes at the moment, because that might start a riot on the live stream.
Yes.
Yes, but this one's looking like a good one though. Neo, V8 Man and Mighty Move, very, very close between these three at the back.
Oh, I tell you what, look at that, and V8 Man, he's in a little bit of a Kiwi sandwich there. We've got Mighty Murph in P7, like you mentioned, Rob. V8 Man in P8. I wonder if the New Zealanders like that voice. Maybe not. But and then it's V8 Man, like we said, in the middle. But speaking of that, V8 Man removing himself from that battle, electing to come into the pits. I could have sworn he's already been in there, but I could be wrong. I thought I was wrong once, but I was mistaken. As Mighty Murph then up to P7, so a little bit of Kiwi action in P7 and P8. Righty in P6, and Cart Dude, he must have come into the pits, so it's Righty then, like we said, in P6, currently with a penalty. Where has this race gone? Lap 6 out of 11, and it's Cart Dude in P3 now, and he's got some traffic here, no. It's actually Formula One Rocks. The battle, look at this, first and third in the Drivers' Championship. Where is he going to find a way past here, Rob?
Good question, and that's always been a question for everybody who comes here. I mean, this is actually a really good zone to get down, and oh, that's a traffic jam. Cardi just getting the braking zone a bit wrong there and trying to get the car turned around as much as the best as he can, and Fallen Rocks just wanted to get past him, wasn't giving him the time or space, and rightfully so. He needs to get past him to win the race, but Cart Dude's doing a good job here, keeping Fallen Rocks behind. Andy Holden's actually up into P2, hasn't pitted yet, but it's about a 15 to 20 second pit stop through here, so that's actually going to put him back in around about 7th, so he's going to pick up some good points, and that's great for his championship. And having a look through Sub GT, he's I mean, I think he started around about 10th, so he did not have a good qualifying at all, but he's leading at the front at the moment, so that's going to put him into 6th, which is going to be an interesting battle between him, Jason, and Righty, which is great for him as well, and it's great for us at home as well, just watching this on the old TV screen here. But yeah, I mean, other than that, at the back here we've got Wampin Mickey SR 33. the boys who have given up on the Porsche, they said no more German technology, we want brute strength from America, and that's what they're getting. Well, they're having a good battle at the back here with their green Corvette strip.
Ah, yes. They had enough of the German stuff, and they've gone back to the pure American muscle. And don't we love this? Mickey there, P12, Womp in P11. I quite like this battle, haven't you, Rob? I mean, we saw them at the start of the race. They're just minding their own business at the back, giving each other a lot of room and a lot of respect between these two. But they're having fun. They're having their own little battle, and we like to mention each and every one of the drivers on the grid there. So Mickey and Womp, I guess V8 man a little bit further down the road there in P10. P8, of course, the last points-paying finish. Commentator's curse, you said it out there, Connor, that's for sure. Connor Elliott saying the commentator's curse struck again. And, Kart Dude. Well, did he get a little bit of a nudge there heading through that final corner, Rob? We didn't see it. We sort of caught that incident late, but Formula One Rocks is through, and that is very important. It could be the net race lead.
Oh, I've never seen a car spin out like that with such force before, so I'm sure there would have been a front left corner on the inside there, just giving a bit of a nudge. But yeah, that was a very maybe a moment-changing piece of racing there, and there might be a few words exchanged if there was a bit of a body contact, but Kart Dude's not going to give up. He's the type of guy, he's a ferocious Tasmanian devil, so he's going to be spinning around some trees and destroying Monaco, trying to get up to Fallen Roxy.
Well, indeed. I reckon Jono might just be going up, or Kart Dude might be going up to Jono, rather, and saying, just rearrange these two great Australian words in their proper order. Off and far out. We've only got 3 laps left in this one. Controversy aplenty. Kiwis and Kangaroos Racing League. That's a new one for me. Says boo, Porsche is where it's at. So no ditching the German technology for those boys. Great to have your company on the live stream tonight. 15 people watching at the moment. And it's Kart Dude in P3. Formula One Rocks then just creeping away as there's a ghost car which has turned upside down. Not too sure who that was. Surprise, surprise. I reckon it's Nemo. We've seen him in that. We've seen him in that position more than once in his SRL racing career. Who could forget that infamous back straight at Long Beach a couple of seasons ago? But anyway, Nemo's out of action for tonight. But here comes Jace. He finished P2 in race 1, and he looks a little bit interested for the podium again in race 2, Rob. Yeah, I mean, just really good pace at the moment. Sub GT has actually done a really good job here. He's had his pit stop, made sure it kept a little bit of contact there, but yeah, he's in P2, and Kart Dude is right on the back of Sub GT there. So I think they're teammates, those two, so they'll be working together, trying to get the best result for both of them. But yeah, Fallen Rocks is in the lead at the moment, and he's looking a little bit too comfortable at the moment, Trev. He certainly is. 0.4 of a second, though. It's not over yet ahead of Sub GT. Kart Dude says, I am not done yet. A second further back. Tim Russell just had to retire. Tim Russell, that is Truss, by the way, had to retire, just clipped the wall and wrecked my car. And Kiwis and Kangaroos Racing, who commented just a moment ago, is actually Ned83 from Tier 2. Oakley dokley. Thank you to Ned Flanders for commenting there, but we are running out of laps here, and in fact Sub GT and Kart Dude are running out of laps, I reckon, because lap 9 out of 11, look at that, 1.1 seconds, he's like a cork out of a bottle. That wasn't the best Murray Walker there, but look at that, he's just streaming away at the front, Rob. 2 laps to go until the end of this one. Yeah, there's not long to go before he's popping the champagne again, so he's pretty much one of, I think, I'm not very good with the old mathematics, but I think it's about 80% of the races this season, sorry, so that's a really good record to be having on your sim racing CV. But Jason, our man Jason, he's still in 4th place, so that's a great result for him. I think Alan Shep will be
getting the contact from Colombia to bring some special flower to his doorstep tomorrow night. But yeah, Jason's looking really, really good for maybe even a podium if something happens at the front with the three leaders at the moment.
Well, Shep, he's currently away partying with all the women. He hasn't left any for Jace, but maybe that's the difference. No distractions tonight. Jace has been able to knuckle down and just forget about his pure Chinese white for the moment and just focus on getting the results here tonight. He's driven a fantastic race in race 1, P2 of course in race 1, and he's looking good for P4 and maybe more here with 1 lap to go until the end of this one as Mickey comes into the pits from P11 just a few places outside of the points. And Womp goes on his merry way with 1 headlight still working. If he was on the road, he'd probably get pulled up for that by the highway patrol. But anyway, here comes Kart Dude, currently in P3. Our winner in race 1. I tell you what, they've been flirting with that tyre barrier. Most of these drivers tonight heading through turn 1 into Sandovote. But Jace, look at that, not done with yet. That is about just over a second. He can see a back-to-back podium finish here tonight right in front of him, Rob. And he's going to try and grab it with 2 hands. Anything can happen, half a lap to go. Yeah,
anything can happen, and it usually does. But, yeah, I think the way that a Kart Dude's driving at the moment is a bit flustered and he's just making mistakes. So, actually, Jace might be on for a shot here. He's only 9/10ths down from Kart Dude, so he is making inroads into that little battle there at the front. But Sub GT is actually within 6/10ths of Fallen Rocks, so this might be heating up at the moment, Trev.
He is within striking distance as we come around the last few corners. There is some traffic further up ahead, but I don't think that's going to have an impact here tonight. Heading into the swimming pool complex. Oh, he has a look, but he is not going to get through there. Here he comes. Formula 1 rocks. Look at that 2-second Sub GT getting a little bit sideways there. But through Rascass, it's going to be mighty, mighty close. Shades of Mansell and Senna back from the early 90s. We mentioned that too earlier on this evening. But it's going to be Formula 1 Rocks who's going to absorb the pressure and take victory here in race 2 at the Circuit de Monaco. Ahead of Sub GT by 4/10ths of a second. Kart Dude taking the final podium finish. And Jace rounding off a fantastic week for him. 2nd in race 1, 4th in race 2. And then it's Mighty Murph in P5. Ahead of this man, Righty, coming around the final corner onto the main straight. He'll finish P6 here tonight. A few seconds further back before we see Andy as well. But Righty in P6. Here comes Andy across the line. Finishes P7 as we wait as well for Fubbles. And, oh, this is a little battle. This could be a little bit spicy. Across the line, side by side. Who's going to get this one?
The man got it.
And he got it. Unbelievable. We'll have to check the gap at the end of this race. But, well, shades of, was it Hulkenberg getting Rosberg on the line for one of the minor placings a couple of years ago in the wet at Monaco. But, well, you can't nap, can you, here, Rob? Geez, I reckon V8 Man's just, he's stolen that by, what, a couple of tenths of a second?
Yeah, barely anything. Again, that might be a B's phallus in that one. But, yeah, just Fubbles got on the wall, made a little mistake coming out of the last corner there and just got it all wrong. And, yeah, well, V8 just picked up the last points paying position.
So here comes Womp, currently in P10 now. And all getting a little bit sideways there coming out of the last corner. But he comes across the line to cap off. Not a bad result for him as he comes across to finish in P10 Womp. So not a bad effort there. Equaling his best finish from a couple of weeks ago, but not adding to his 2 points so far for this season. But there are the results on your screen. Formula 1 Rocks getting back to winning ways here tonight and taking victory ahead of Sub GT in P2. Kart Dude rounding out the podium finishes in P3 in the Corvette ahead of Jason Wilkinson. What a weekend for him. And then the New Zealand contingent, Mighty Murph in P5, Righty in P6, Andy in P7, ahead of V8 Man in P8, Fubbles in P9, Womp rounding out your top 10. We saw him come home to finish P10. Mickey in P11. Nemo in P12. Then 13 for Truss. We saw him comment on the live stream. He had some damage and he retired along with Nemo from this race as we welcome our winner to the podium party. Sub GT's joined you as well. But Jono, great to have your company again, mate. Back to winning ways. And first of all, tell us about not only your race 2 and your win in race 2, but what happened in the race 1 there, mate?
Thanks, boys. Race 1, I just went wide to hit the wall and it spun me right around, and I was trying to get to the inside of the track just so people could go around me on the racing line. And it's just too small. Yeah, sorry to everyone, but I stopped everyone's race in that first one for sure.
Yes, that can happen around here, but well, mate, like we said, what is this win number? I'm just trying to work out what is it? Win number 6 for the season, mate. So you're still sitting pretty on top of that championship table, despite that little blip on the copybook in race 1, mate. Are you still happy with your results here tonight?
Yeah, mate, pretty happy. Not too bad because it's a pretty difficult track, and the first and the fifth isn't bad at all.
And Rob, any questions that you have for the great man?
No, I mean, I'm just impressed with that recovery drive in race 1. You were at the back of the field and you still managed to finish, I think, 5th, which is a fantastic result considering just causing a bit of a pile up there. But yeah, race 2, your car looked really good. The battle with Cart Dude was really thrilling to watch. But what happened at the last corner there? It just seemed like Cart Dude just spun out of contention, maybe out of this universe. I don't know what happened there. Was there any contact, or was it just driver error?
There was a bit of contact, but I was right up beside him, and he sort of turned in, so that's what happens.
Well, Jono, congratulations, mate. Win number 6 for the year. And well, have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, mate, and we'll see you to do it all over again for the second part of this season in 2019. Congratulations.
Thanks, boys. Have a good one, eh?
You too, mate. Now, Sub GT joining us in the party tonight, mate. P2, not a bad result for yourself. I believe it's your second P2 finish of the season, mate. Talk us through your 2 races tonight.
Sounds like it's raining somewhere, but I'll cover it for Sub GT. Oh, there he is. There he is.
Boys. Yeah, I had some wheel rotation issues in both qualies. I don't know what was going on there. It was a bit weird. That's why I went back to the pits a couple of times. And the first race, obviously, just didn't work out for me. But second race was good. I was a bit slower than I thought I would be, but that's life. After a few beers at the pub. But yeah, the second race I enjoyed. It was good. It was a good race.
Good stuff, mate. And yeah, go ahead, Rob.
Oh, no, it was just enjoyable to see you come through the pack in the second race there. I think you qualified around about, I think 9th. I'm not too sure. I have a very short memory, but just come through the field and led the race for a little bit there, and ended up being the one that was battling Jono at the end there. So that was a great result for you there, mate.
It was. It worked out. The pit worked out for me. I was just trying to get some clear air for a few laps, which I had, and then I started catching up to the rear markers, and I thought I got a good start. I think I took someone on the first corner, but yeah, caught up to the rear markers and was getting close, and I thought it was time to pit, and the pit worked for me actually. It worked really well, slotting in behind John over.
Well, mate, congratulations. I reckon you've earned, you might head off and have another few trophies, I reckon, heading towards Christmas, mate. Fantastic. Congratulations on P2 tonight. Our viewers love you, mate. Well done, Sub, all in these comments. So congratulations, mate. Merry Christmas, and we'll see you again. Happy New Year, and we'll see you again next year, mate.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Right. Fantastic stuff. Thank you, Sub GT Racer there. Now, Cart Dude has been good enough to join us in the party. We were talking you up, mate. Talk us through what happened, not only in race 2, but I guess more importantly, mate, race 1. What happened? You sort of managed to avoid the carnage there, a bit of Stephen Bradbury style for you in race 1.
The seas parted in the first race, didn't it? I couldn't believe it. yeah, I guess luck was on my side for a change and made the most of it.
Well, Rob, luck doesn't come into it, does it? You've just got to, you earn your luck, don't you? And you're very quick there, mate. You showed some good pace, but what was the key, I guess, to that? Was it just a matter of controlling things early on in race one? And secondly, could you believe that you're out in the lead after what happened?
I couldn't actually. I kind of thought, because I knew I kind of had the pace to be there, but Monaco is pretty hard to overtake on, and thinking, then how am I going to get past a couple of cars? And then I'm like, oh, okay, that's how I'll do it. And yeah. Then the second race was, yeah, going to plan, I suppose, and then had a bit of an incident, but that's okay.
No, fantastic stuff, mate. Well, you got to be happy with that. Back-to-back podium finishes tonight, mate, and well, I guess it's time to get the Christmas ham out and get the roast ready, because you'll be just getting ready for Christmas down there in Tassie. Any plans for Christmas?
I'm cooking Christmas. I'm doing all the cooking actually, which could be
disastrous.
It could be disastrous, but it could be good. Fucking shoot into my Instagram page, Brody_sport, and find out.
Just a shameless plug there from our man Brody.
That was a plug and a half there, Trev. I think we haven't even done that to our own social media, so I'm impressed. I'm impressed. I'll be honest. I'm not mad. Well done.
Thank you.
And, gee whiz, I tell you what. Well, thanks very much, Brody. Don't forget to check out this man. We get the hashtags trending, don't we, Can't Do Nation? But jump on his Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever you want to do, and get amongst it. Can't Do. Congratulations tonight, mate. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and we'll see you again next time around.
Yeah, you too, boys. Have a good one.
All right. Well, I tell you what, Rob, what a race, what action. And we've just got to make mention too about a little bit of a Christmas. It's not done with yet. We might be done with the championship. We might be going on a couple of weeks of vacation, Rob. But we've just had some news come through that there could be some bit of Rally X action during the Christmas break. What's all that about?
Yeah, I think we might be talking about maybe doing a live stream for that as well, which would be great because we'll be two commentators on the circuit this time, which would be pretty interesting. People can laugh at our driving. Mine not so much. Maybe yours a little bit more, Trev. But yeah, Rallycross sounds like a bit of fun for Christmas.
Bit of Rallycross action there. I'm trying to scroll through my Facebook messages to find out more details about that. My computer is not working with me though tonight. But I reckon we're just about done here, Rob. Thank you for everything in 2018. What a year, what a season it's been so far. And we're not done with it, are we, Rob? We've still got a few more rounds to go and into 2019, mate. But thank you for everything so far this year. And, well, we're going to have an epic year next year, I reckon.
Yeah, it's looking like a good end of season for the first part of next year, and then we'll roll on to the next season. It's going to be interesting who we're going to be crowning champion. I think my money's on Formula 1 Rocks at the moment. We are not betting, but if I was going to say, it's going to be Formula 1 Rocks. But yeah, lots and lots of good on-track action, and hopefully we can have some more good fun battles to watch to keep people at home entertained, Trev.
Well, 6 rounds to go, 5 remaining. The second part of this season, second half, will be in 2019. Jason just asking whether he wants to get into explain the Rally X stuff and just inviting himself in with it. That's awesome. Perfect timing there, Jace. Tell us more about this Rally X business.
Yeah, so next week, Rallycross Lights, so nice little fun cars. And we're going to do heat races at the San Paulo Ice Circuit, and then we'll have a final at the Brands Hatch Indy, all in the snow, all very white Christmassy sort of special, since us Aussies don't get to have a white Christmas. And yeah, it should be good fun. See how good Trev and Rob really are.
Speaking of the white powder, mate, we were making up some jokes throughout the course of the evening, mate. Now we've got you in the party, mate. Tell us about that. Second and fourth. You've got to be happy with your results tonight.
Yeah, I don't know how I got second in that first race. I'll keep this nice and short, but yeah, I had 100 rear wing damage, so I had no rear wing, and somehow managed to get back up to second. So that was good. In race 2, I just was behind Brody and all that, and couldn't really do anything. But yeah, nice and short this time.
Short and sweet. Big thanks, Jace. We'll see you again for the Rally X stuff. We'll be live streaming that, and like you said, Rob, we'll be racing as well. What could possibly go wrong with half a dozen guys and white powder around? Just tune in to see what's going to happen with that. Anyway, I reckon we might finish up here before. We'll wrap it up before we get in too much trouble. It's been fantastic to have your company throughout 2018. 6 rounds down, like I said, 5 to go. Have a safe and Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. Be kind to one another, and we'll see you next time to do it all over again in 2019. It's bye for now.